Okay, so I just want to present to you guys the Filipino Junior Chamber's presentation for this year's JCI Hawaii Ideathon. Thank you again to my board and to my fellow members for helping me out with this. If you can please go to the next slide. So I just want to kind of go over briefly about Hawaii in the past year and the COVID-19 pandemic's effect. If you can take a look at those two tables, the bottom left is more monthly unemployment rate in Hawaii. It's kind of shot up in the middle of the pandemic, and it's been slowly decreasing, but it's still a high level since before the pandemic. And this kind of correlates to what the real GDP or gross domestic product of the state of Hawaii has been. So really, we haven't been in such a sure-foot economic standpoint in the past year, but hopefully with the idea proposed to you guys, we hope to be able to at least make some sort of change. I'm not too sure how dramatic it would be, but it'd be a great start. And so FGC's idea, and this is something we brought up in last year's Ideathon that we hope to solidify for this upcoming year and really hopefully make it happen. If you can please go to the next slide. So what we're still proposing is resilience hubs. And what resilience hubs are, they're community serving facilities which mainly support local residents, enhance community connectivity, coordinate resource distribution and services, and definitely jumpstart economic growth. And what can the JCs create from this idea? The resilience hubs are used throughout the nation and throughout different countries, but this is something that we as the JCs can do. What we propose is a Hawaii Young Professionals Resilience Hub. It's going to be an online hub created by JCI Hawaii for a community of young professionals to, of course, mainly address the COVID-19 related issues. What we also hope to do is share tools and resources amongst the different people within the Resilience Hub, definitely network and connect. And really it's to empower each other to make a positive change within the state and hopefully reaching even further than that. And what we hope to accomplish with this is pool ideas together and make actionable plans from those ideas between each other, definitely make connections between job seekers and employers. And what we also hope to do is establish a variety of new markets and services with potential like telework and software development within the state. This will provide resources to navigate through this new economy that we hope to create. And of course, advance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. What we targeted was decent work and economic growth and good health and well-being. But the way to really realize our success is this sort of action plan that we have here right now, which is to first establish an online hub that initially houses members of JCI Hawaii. And then we hope to market and expand membership to over 300 members within 4 months. Then create an action plan to serve the members and community within 6 months of releasing this. So this is just sort of a start that we have for FGC, and hopefully with the help of the other chapters as well. We're still working on this, and really we welcome any other contributions that you guys would have to make. So if you want, you can message the email provided over there or reach out to any of the social media links, or really just contact myself or any of the board of directors to see if we can sort of jumpstart this idea. Thank you. So hopefully that was a good start to our Ideathon that we have for this evening, and just kind of a taste of what to expect from the rest of the presenters. Up next, I'd like to welcome our next presenter, the current president for Rising Phoenix Jaycees, President Sean Unimori. If I can do a really quick but in-depth description about you, President Sean. Sean has been with the Jaycees since 2007 and was originally from the past Hawaii chapter known as the Cool Jaycees, which also stands for the Community Organization of Leaders. In 2011, he played a role as director of video productions in the state executive board and was also the only board member in the state to have visited all the chapters at the time, such as Lehua, Hilo, and Manoa JCs before they closed. He has won the R. Bradley Trafton Award in 2011 for Best State Officer, and in 2012 received the Dennis Hamilton Award for Best State Flagship Program at the National Convention. In the past year, July of 2020, he stepped up to be the Rising Phoenix JC's president and continues his dedication of teaching the young people on how leadership should be taught by building, connecting, and expanding. So if you could go ahead, President Sean, I welcome you to present your Ideathon for this year.
Thank you, President Pat. Really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Yes, so just to get started, I just want to thank my board too, as well, for helping me with this. So I don't have a PowerPoint as President Pat did, but we don't read off on a script. So please bear with me. So what we did was we got a little background of the Hawaii's economy. So I'm going to read from the introduction. So from a record low unemployment rate of 3.5% in 2019 to a whopping 15% in 2020, Hawaii's unemployment rate currently stands at 7.7%. Hawaii's resilient on tourism caused an economic downfall as visitors' access was restricted to slow the spread of COVID-19. While we once was tourists visiting from China, Japan, and Korea, our main source of tourism is now the mainland USA. Relying on a single source of tourism is risky. In addition to the decline the tourism industry, there was a 65% reduction in creative jobs due to COVID-19. So including the $700 million per year earned from the film and television industries, many of Hawaii's job sectors are beginning to recover since the start of the pandemic. But some sectors of there have not recovered. Compared to 2019, the transportation, warehousing, and utilities is down 23%. And information is down by 29%, with none of our economic sectors surpassing the pre-pandemic performance and several sectors declining. So Hawaii needs alternative sectors, thus diversifying our economy. So I guess the first one is the tech-enabled jobs and solar energy. Let's look at what's the state's current economic strategy is. So the Hawaii Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism presented their 2020 State Economic Recovery Draft Strategic Plan. Their plan included recovering with the e-commerce, data, tech, infrastructure, and online sales. The 2020 plan continued to include job creations from solar power, solar storage, and solar energy efficiency. Hawaii schools would include education, technology, including social technology. Secondly, the department's plan is including exports. So they're increasing the local sales, particularly during the 3-day weekend, and sales directly to Japan since they have not been able to physically travel to the US. Growing our food. Since Westerners gained political control of Hawaii, our land and seas are good, and the services are sustained Native Hawaiians centuries for has been replaced. Many Native Hawaiians fish ponds have been filled to create more lands for the housing, and the remaining fish ponds are being lost to the rising sea levels of global warming. The plan is not include fish ponds, but does include deep sea aquaculture, excuse me, sorry, as we surrounded ourselves by the Pacific Ocean. In the Britannical.com attributes Hawaii's high costs of living with Hawaii's isolated geographic locations and with Hawaii's dependence on imports. Food Security Hawaii states that imports 85% of its food. To remedy this situation, we need to take action and integrate large and small scales in regenerative agriculture systems, community food processing centers, distribution mechanisms, farmers' recruitment and education, as well as affordable housing with the community. The struggle to diversify is, I guess, with the strategy is to include a number of alternative sectors to diversify economy with these alternatives. Fail to address certain challenges that is unique in Hawaii. It is not matter of Hawaii what diversify our economy, but how we can diversify with economies given Hawaii's social economic challenges. The majority of the goods and services today continue to be geared towards tourism and real estate investments for wealthy foreigners. Only 50% of Hawaii's population was actually born in Hawaii. Therefore, Hawaii is using our goods and services to support and many people who are not from communities. According to this, the USA bombed the Marshall Islands from 1946 to 1958 to test the weapons, destroying resources on the Marshall Islands. As they immigrate to closest US state, Hawaii, many Marshallese come to Hawaii, impoverishing and unable to speak English. The Marshallese population age is 16 and above. And there are only 47% of them that's unemployed. You may have heard the term priced out in paradise to describe the gentrifications of Hawaii's neighborhoods with the median home price at $992,000. That's a lot. Many local families wondered who can actually afford this. In 2019, Hawaii's News Now published an article called "Over 8 Years, Nearly 62,000 People Left Hawaii for Mainland Than They Came In." Even more families moved to the mainland during the pandemic to seek lower cost of living and to better the employment opportunities. The employment that were trained for Hawaii's economy and the children that has been educated have been leaving. So here's our solution. Hawaii must work on keeping its people lowering the cost of living. To do this, Hawaii needs to have programs available to prioritize its residents with programs such as rental assistance, home buyers assistance. Hawaii needs to utilize social energy and rely on less on imported gasoline. Hawaii also needs to retain its goods and services by taking more control of immigration and by preventing people with high needs from buying in one-way tickets to Hawaii. This can be done by the Hawaii laws enforcement, working with the Hawaii Airlines. Fuel tourism is not most stable sector of the economy. It is an existing sector that does bring in revenue. I wish I had a post for this, but this is on Instagram from Hawaii Green Fee. They were posting that Hawaii is investing only $9 per tourist into conversation. And in contrast to New Zealand invests $188 per tourist, and the Galapagos Islands invest $373 per tourist. Through the conversation funding tourism, it could be great jobs for local. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much, President Chan, for sharing your ideas and thoughts about the topic at hand for this evening. And really, if everyone can please give a virtual round of applause for President Chan for stepping up and presenting his ideas on behalf of himself and for Rising Phoenix JCs. Our third speaker for this evening, another president. I welcome President Scott, the current 2021 president for the Honolulu Chinese JCs. And if you didn't know already, just correct me if I'm wrong. He just came back from JCI Nationals as our write-up competition representative and the winner at that level. So congratulations to him as well. And President Scott, if you want to go ahead, I welcome you to present your idea for this year's Ideathon.
Thank you, President Pat, and thank you everyone for allowing us as well as our team from HCJ to present just some ideas that we have in regards to how we can diversify the economy of Hawaii. We have 3 different ideas, and they may not all connect together, but they are just ideas that we can throw out there, and maybe we can run with 1, 2, or all of the ideas. First off, being an employee of the hospitality industry, I can see firsthand how our sole reliance on the tourism sector is really affecting our economy here in Hawaii. Jobs are being lost, employees are being furloughed, they aren't able to pay their rent, they aren't able to pay their bills. We can see the sheer panic in some of their phone calls and faces. So this Ideathon is a very great way to think about how we can change this perspective, how we can change and retrain our workers, as well as how to move our economy forward. The first idea, kind of, growing back from last year's presentation with Speaker Anna from HCJ, talking about how we can invest in our agriculture, specifically community source agriculture. Within our chapter, we have decided to, or we have conducted fundraisers in partnership with Ho Farms, a local farm here on the island, to bring fresh local produce into the hands of consumers directly without a middleman. So we would like to propose either investing further in our local farms, in our local agriculture producers, our local beef producers, those types of things, and actually using the power of our group to harness the energy to bring that type of food sources directly to our people, directly to our consumers, directly to our community members. The second idea that we would like to talk about is to bring entrepreneurship more into the forefront here in the islands, right? As President Sean mentioned, we do have, I guess, what they do technically call the brain drain of people leaving Hawaii, but how can we continue to keep the people here in the state? As they mentioned, we are an isolated state, so we don't have many things that we can necessarily create here. We are such a small place as far as physical goods, but we can create ideas, we can create technologies, we can create things that can be mass produced elsewhere, but the ideas and the mental brain power and the knowledge comes from within here. We create the ideas, we grow the ideas, and we spread it through the country and throughout the globe. That would be our selling point. We would be able to keep the information flowing, new technologies, new information, and sorry, I lost my train of thought there. New ideas. But that's how we have to grow from within. We have to manufacture that, manufacture mental brain power, technology, because we cannot grow that physicalness. It was proposed to have an idea with college students to propose entrepreneurial ideas that is sent through the JCs and propose to offer them grants to be able to grow their ideas and keep that information flowing and potentially recruit them as members into the fold. And I think the last thing that we could talk about using our social power amongst our organization and people we are connected to is to impact change by suggesting policy changes. There are a lot of things that can be done policy-wise, and I know it's not a simple fix as a policy, but we can incrementally push policies and propose our thoughts and opinions on how policies can be changed to better the lives of our people here in Hawaii. As they're talking about the investment properties and real estate, that's pushing our people out as well. How can we change policies to help our local residents be able to stay here, right? That's one step of it, is how do we get them to stay here and how do we keep them here? So those are just some of the 3 different things that we would like to discuss or just throw out as a proposal. And it's nothing that needs to be done overnight. It'll take time. Change takes time. Things don't happen in a week. in a month. It can take years, but just to plant the seed of thought. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, President Scott, for representing your chapter and presenting those wonderful ideas. And like President Scott said, hopefully those ideas that were presented this evening kind of seeded themselves inside your guys' brain. We can talk about all the proposals, or even hopefully the question that we presented to everyone was thought-provoking to you all, and that you come up with your own ideas that hopefully we can collaborate as JCs together to create positive change within our state, and hopefully serve as a shining example for the rest of the nation and the world. So again, I just want to thank my fellow presidents, President Scott and President Sean, for presenting to us this evening for this year's Ideathon. And if I can now just remind everyone, there will be no formal Q&A opportunities, but again, just feel free to reach out to any of us for collaboration on any of the ideas we brought today. We hope you enjoyed the Ideathon. And if I can please turn to my Executive Vice President for FJC, Sue Lazo. She'll be hosting what should be a very fun final round for PowerPoint battle. See if you can go ahead.
All right, thank you, President Patrick. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I was inspired by some of these ideas, and I'm probably going to reach out to a couple of you that where I heard some things. So, and I think that was the whole point, right? Is to plant the seeds. So yes, President Scott had mentioned that, and so we're really excited to hear them, and then hopefully this will give you guys some ideas to collaborate in the future. But with that said, we are now moving on to PowerPoint battle. So to answer your question in chat, Maddie, it is right now. So at this time, I do want to actually talk about what is PowerPoint battle, because I don't know if some of you joined us in our August GMM, but for those that are unfamiliar, PowerPoint battle is a competition where teams that consist of 2 players give a PowerPoint presentation containing slides they've never seen before in front of a live audience. And so tonight you guys are our live audience. A team wins based on audience vote. So as you guys can imagine, this activity helps to build your teamwork skills, your communication skills, but in a very fun way. In FJC's version, we held round 1 of PowerPoint battle at our August GMM. The top team from the first round moved on to tonight's final round, so the top 2 teams. In that first round, we actually had 4 teams. So 1 from FJC, 1 from Hawaii Kai, and 2 from Honolulu Chinese Jaycees. And actually the 2 teams from Honolulu Chinese Jaycees won, and they are here tonight to present. So team 1 is mischievous scheming koalas, Scott and Maddie. And then team 2 is team queen bees, which is Sarah and Denisha. So I actually want to pose to them, who wants to go first?
We can go first.
Yeah, we'll go
Mischievous
first.
scheming koalas.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put Denisha and Sarah in the breakout room. So if you guys don't mind, so Sarah and Denisha. Okay. See, hopefully they went in. Did they go in?
So yeah, it looks like they're in.
All right, thanks. I can't see with all these things on my screen. All right. So
I'm gonna be also on my phone again this time. I know that I can't see multiple things when the screen is being shared. Can someone just put in the chat for me when the time is slowly coming down?
Maddie, this is Patrick. I'll do that for you.
Oh, thanks. Okay, our strategy is half each, so you can let me know when I'm gonna go first half.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
okay, and I don't think I mentioned it, but each team has 6 minutes to do their presentation. So again, these are slides they've never seen before. 6 minutes, or if they've finished before 6 minutes, it's 10 slides they have to get through in under 6 minutes. Okay, so on the screen, Scott, and I guess Maddie, you'll be hearing from Pat. You'll see when the timer will start, and that is your cue to begin. So Scott and Maddie, are you guys good? Are you ready?
Yes. Oh, Pat, can you just tell me like minute 1, minute 2, minute 3? That would help me.
Yeah, I'll keep chiming in the
Oh,
chat.
cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
We're good. We got this.
Good
We're
luck.
just giving koalas. Oh, it's lagging. Okay. Okay, greetings everyone. Today I am here with President Scott to present to you all about fostering innovation. Next slide, please. So what is fostering innovation? I guess it can mean many different things. Like it could mean coming up with new ideas. How do we work together to create new ideas and the whole process behind it? So like these two people obviously have some pretty cool ideas. They're trying to innovate a new type of man-powered transportation that is eco-friendly and better on our environment, and yet it takes the two people to participate to help out. Like all great ideas, it does take a team. Next slide, please. So there's all different types of innovative processes. It doesn't necessarily have to be very binary ones and zeros. It could be interesting and unique, like this cow and dolphin friendship. Like who knew that we could have such great new ideas come, such as this interesting duo. Next slide, please. And of course, when we have to work on teamwork, it takes a lot of communication, such as plenty of emails. 95% of the time it's emails. 5% can be, I think the 5% right now, especially during COVID, has been broken down into like 3% phone and Zoom calls, maybe like 1% actual physical interaction, 1% text message. Next slide, please. And of course, once in a while, we need to take a break, because how can we create new ideas and foster innovation if we're tired? So like this guy, you know, enjoy a snack once in a while, take a break, have a good time. Next slide, please. Up to you, Scott.
So this picture here is not the way to foster innovation. The child on the left has grand ideas, yet the woman on the right is telling him, no, that's not a great idea, don't do it. But this is not the right way to foster innovation. He should be standing, he should be communicating with the lady to tell her, no, this is a great idea, this is what we need to do. Can we move to slide 7, please? This is showing a curve of happiness and time spent on Facebook. So as the longer that you're on Facebook, the less happy you are, because you're not innovating. You're not thinking of new ideas. Facebook is not causing you to innovate. It is unmotivating you to innovate. So we actually want to invert this graph, and instead of time spent on Facebook, it'll be time spent innovating. You have a little dip if it's inverted on the back side, but as you innovate more and more, you'll be happier and happier because your ideas will get out there. Next slide, please. And this is what happens when you don't innovate. You take what you already have, this lion stuffed animal. This girl is sad because this toy is old and it's nothing new. So we need to create new toys for children to be happy. She would be smiling, turning around if she had a new toy in her hand. But Mr. Lion there is a little bit old and he's worn out and used, so she's sad. Next slide, please. And maybe this is a fun idea to poison your enemies. That's how your innovation will succeed, because you won't have competition. But ethically and morally, probably not the best thing to do for innovation. We should be working together to create innovation, to push everyone up as everyone's ideas flow, just like that analogy where the tide raises all boats together. So if we work together to create innovation, our ideas will grow. So this is, while a fun idea, is not a great idea for innovation. Without competition, you don't innovate more. You have nothing to compete for. You have nothing in order to continue your growth. And to the last slide, please. And this is what happens when you don't innovate. You get squashed, like this sumo wrestler here. So, oh, that wasn't the time, right? That was just a noise with this photo. So time to sumo, let's battle. With innovation, as you can see with this, all of the slides in this presentation, everything that moved forward, from bridges to bicycles to friends living in the ocean together, dolphins and cows, all the way to looking at 95% of emails, which is hindering your innovation, to your happiness inversion curve while innovating, creating new things and new toys, not being squashed like this sumo wrestler. So let's continue to innovate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, and good job on that save, President Scott. That gong came a little bit early, so I'm glad you made it part of the presentation. What do you guys think? Great. Yeah, awesome. I see some messages in the chat. You guys did a great job. And so now we have Denisha and Sarah back in the room, the main meeting room. So I'm gonna go ahead and they're gonna use the same slide. So that's why they had to go into the separate breakout room. So let's see, where are you guys? Okay, I see Denisha and Sarah. All right, so give me a second.
If I can stop you real fast, Sue.
Yes.
I guess, sorry, we should have let Scott and Maddie know, but there should be a gong at the 1 minute remaining. So not to catch you by surprise, or incorporate that. You guys do with it what you will.
Okay, I guess we have to let Sarah and Denisha know. Okay, so Sarah and Denisha, you guys see the blue sky timer. So just like last time, it'll be pinned, so you'll see how your time. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and you guys just let me know when you want to go. You just say next slide. But you guys will see the timer will start when you guys are ready to, when you're supposed to start. So you'll see that. And this time Pat and I have timed it, so we'll do it correctly. So you guys have maximum time. All right, guys.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Denisha with the Honolulu Chinese JCs, and we're going to be talking about fostering innovation. All right, next slide.
So innovation, what is it? When we think about our past, how did we transport ourselves from one place to another? We pretty much just used our feet. We either walked or ran to wherever we wanted to go. And then through innovation of ideas and creativity, we created things like a bicycle. And then from the bicycle, we added on these crazy contraptions where you can have two people on the bicycle in tandem. And from there, we have created even more and more from there. So what is the basis of our innovation? It is just taking our creativity and thinking about what can we do to improve from where we are now to where we are in the future. How can we get to one place to the next faster than just with our feet? Adding wheels is one of the best things that we did. And even further along, adding engines and motors and everything, we have been able to fly to different places. So first of all, think about how can we make ourselves better? How can we innovate? Next slide.
Okay, and on that note, we decided that 4 wheels on a tandem bicycle was too many wheels. Also, obviously, we evolved into like a 2-wheel kind of situation. Unlike our 2-leggedness, these animals did not need any wheels. They just, I guess they like to soar through the sky and enjoy their flight time. But, you know, sometimes that fostering innovation comes in all different forms. Sometimes it comes in the form of cow. Sometimes it comes in the form of dolphin. Sometimes it comes in the form of both, leaping through the water in the Pacific Ocean. So that's where we're at right now. Sometimes we just have to kind of venture out into our comfort zones or out of our comfort zones and see what the world has in store for us. So on that note, let's go on to the next slide.
95% of emails are unread. If you look at my inbox, I have probably 10,000 emails that I don't read. And why is that? Sometimes we foster so much innovation. There's so much creativity that is going all over the place, and everything is thrown into these emails, but we don't see all of it. So what do? We need to slow down sometimes. Innovation takes time. We can't just jump from 0 to 95 to 100 and have these gazillion emails in your inbox and you're not even able to use it. So take things one step at a time. How are we right now, and how can we get to that 100% read email mark? Otherwise, we will end up just having all these emails, all these creative ideas, all this innovation stuck in this inbox going nowhere. Thank you. Next slide.
I don't know about you, Sarah, but my 95% email inbox would be a 0% inbox if I just select all and press delete. And, you know, reward myself by eating a jammed stuffed donut, because that's how life goes sometimes. But, you know, innovation starts in many forms, and some of those forms include a lot of, let's say, mistakes and different forms of discovering yourself. So I like to look at this picture sometimes in the morning, Sarah, and think to myself, what would I do to allow me this reward in the form of a jam-filled donut? Even though I don't really care for donuts, but it's all right, you know, 95% can't go 100% all the time. Sometimes 95% is enough to foster innovation. Okay, next slide.
And sometimes innovation comes with consequences. If you don't follow all the rules exactly how our authority figures might want it, you're going to get a scolding. You're going to get a nice talking to. But sometimes that is what it takes in order to have innovation. You have to break out of the box, break some rules. Don't be illegal though. Don't do anything illegal. That's bad. But as long as you are doing breaking out of the box, you can create and foster more innovation to improve yourself. So don't be afraid of getting scolded, because that will help you improve yourself. Next slide.
I would like to disagree with that, actually, because I think no form of punishment, even in the pursuit of innovation, needs to be ostracized and punished in a way. And, you know, I look at this graph sometimes, and my 95% filled email inbox now a 0% because I deleted all of the emails. And I look at this graph, my happiness based on my time spent on Facebook, it's kind of the same thing. If I'm not on Facebook, I'm very happy. But at the same time, if I'm on Facebook too much, my happiness level declines. But, you know, that all has to do with the innovation part of it. So the end.
All right, guys. What do you guys think? What you guys didn't make it all to the 10, but that's fine. That's not part of the rule. Like you have to do all 10. But you guys were able to do a great job, Queen Bee. So thank you guys. All right. So at this point, now we actually vote on who you think should win our final round. Yes.
Can we show them the last 2 slides they missed?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
Because I know like last time we all had different PowerPoints.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was the next one. I think, what is this, slide 8? And then slide 9. And then slide 10.
Tanisha, I feel like you would have liked slide 9. I like slide 9.
Shit. Oh, I mean, yes, I would have liked. Sorry, that image caught me off
This meeting is
guard.
being recorded.
I know. I'm sorry,
We'll bleep you out.
but wow, that's a beautiful slide.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and vote. So I think, is it Patrick? You have the vote. You're gonna launch the vote. Okay.
Let me guys know if you're unable to see it, but I should be launching the poll right now for everyone to vote.
Do we get to vote or do we not vote?
I say you guys vote. You guys can vote.
If I can double check with everyone, I think the hosts can't vote just to avoid any bias or anything, but there are some people it looks like who haven't voted yet. I'll give you guys a minute lapse if you haven't to vote, but if you choose not to, I leave it up to you. I guess you could put it that way too, Andy. Okay, give it a couple more seconds because I will be ending the poll soon. If you haven't voted just yet, go ahead.
Tanisha, you guys took a completely different approach than Scott and I.
Oh, really? We did?
Kind of, yeah. You guys like really did really good about staying on the topic of like innovation.
I don't know. I feel like we did.
I thought the dolphins would work. I was like, they gotta work together.
Yeah. You guys said they had to work together.
Oh yeah, because we do ours like 5 and 5. So I went first, and then Scott's really good at like wrapping up my BS.
Oh, I see.
Somehow.
See, Sarah is good at wrapping up minds, but I also didn't have a lot to say the first time.
I
like
feel
the
like
strategies you guys came up with.
I was like, oh, Sarah and Scott, if they were one team and you and I were one team, they would definitely win, because I think we'd get stuck going on tangents.
Oh yeah.
So if you're okay, I can share the results right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
you guys ready?
everyone,
All right.
take a look. I clicked share results and hopefully you guys can see it on your guys' end.
So congratulations, mischievous scheming koalas. Woo. Yay. All right, so thank you to both teams. You guys both did a great job. And we just, this was an experiment to see how engaged the JCs would be with PowerPoint battle, and it was super fun to host it. And maybe this will be another event we'll have next year at next year's convention. But you know, maybe other folks too would want to participate, right? If this was fun for you, this, you know, I have like 18 PowerPoints that that you can practice off. So yeah, so that's it for PowerPoint battle. Thank you guys again. Pat, I'll give the mic to you.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you to everyone who participated both in Ideathon and PowerPoint battle this evening, and to all of you guys, our guests and friends who joined us this evening for the start of what should be a great second trimester convention. I want to thank you all again for taking the time out this evening. Hopefully this was informational, educational, and most of all, fun for you guys to take a part in. Of course, we still have events for tomorrow as well. I hope you guys all signed up to Eventbrite for all of the events we have. I believe we still have a couple of spots open. It's a limited group gathering tomorrow for the morning. It is the beach cleanup at Sand Island. You can reach out to myself or any of the board members if you guys are interested. It's not too late, but there are a couple of things we need you to clear first. So if you're available tomorrow morning, just let us know. And then of course, we do have our afternoon events. Guest speakers provided by one of our own, Aldrich Ulep, Poetry for Professionals, and also a friend of the chapter, Ryan Mandato, talking about mitigating implicit bias. So if you guys are able to take the time out Saturday afternoon as well, I really welcome you guys to take part, register, and come check out those talks as well. Other than that, thank you again, everyone, for tonight. If we could all just take one last group photo with everyone, just to commemorate the start of a great weekend with everyone. So please, if you're able to, turn on your cameras as well. And then our usual picture taker, Carolyn, if you're able to take a screenshot of everyone. I think it's a bigger crowd though, so there might be two galleries. We'll
yeah, I'm gonna
one.
have to take two pictures unless someone has the ability to take everyone.
Carolyn, I have everybody on one screen.
Oh, can you take
it? Thank you.
You're the best. That's why you're state
No.
president.
Smile.
One of the many
3,
qualifications.
2, 1, and wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Again, thank you for coming out, everyone. I'll leave the room open if you guys just want to talk story or whatever. I know it's been a while since most of us got to see each other, but hopefully we'll get more of a chance this weekend as well. But unless you guys want to head out, again, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you for the rest of this weekend. Thank you.
Pat, it's still recording.